A young family in Midtown New York had employed a nanny to help care for their young child, and she did so ever since the day he was born. The nanny would pamper him and love him as if he was her own. He was a strange boy, and over the years a fierce, mean streak began to develop in him. He often played pranks on the nanny. Once he put a dead rat in her bed. Another time he set fire to her favorite dress. He would even taint her food with ink or bleach. Regardless, the nanny saw all these things as him just being a playful child, and there was nothing he could do to sway her unconditional love for him. The boy knew this, and he loved the attention. However, this all changed when a new baby entered the household. The nanny could no longer spend every waking moment with the boy, and he hated that. The boy, wanting the nanny all to himself, took the newborn and drowned her in the bathtub in a cold and calculated way. When the family found the drowned child, they were devastated. The mother, inconsolable. They couldn't understand how this could have happened. That was until the boy spoke up and said that he saw the nanny drown the child. The nanny couldn't believe what she was hearing. The parents, not suspecting their innocent child could have done this, immediately turned their grief and anger towards the nanny and sent her to her room to wait for the police to arrive. Hours later, she took her own life. She was so completely heartbroken by the child's betrayal and loss of the infant that she became overwhelmed with sorrow and felt the only way out was to end it all. Decades later, the young boy had grown into a successful businessman who ran his companies with a strict policy of bullying and intimidation. He was disliked and feared by all who knew him, and he couldn't care less. He had married to a wife he rarely showed affection to, and they had recently had a child together. Interestingly, he loved the child with all his heart. On a Friday night, a few weeks later, the police were called out to the man's residence to investigate a call they had received about someone screaming and being beaten. The man looked at them as if they were idiots and told them to get off his property before he reported them to the commissioner for harassment. It was then that the wife appeared at the door, her face clearly beaten and bruised. The man was shocked by this, but even more so when his wife asked the policeman to, "Please, save the baby." The police went straight inside to check on the infant. What they saw was too horrific for words. The abuse that had occurred would scar them for the rest of their careers. The man was arrested and sentenced to life imprisonment without parole, forever left to rot in a cell. He wouldn't last long though, for what happens to his kind in prison is indescribable. Not surprisingly, no one cared about what happened to the man, and least of all, his wife.
Mau jago bahasa Inggris dalam waktu singkat? Hubungi kami di WhatsApp 08958638353881 sekarang.